3DS emulation on Nintendo Switch is a hard nut to crack, and even though there are some performances that look promising, there are also drawbacks. Yes, there are handhelds capable of running 3DS games, and some can be bought for the same price as a Nintendo Switch. You can get an Odin Lite for $230, and that's what you pay for an unpatched V1 Switch on eBay. The difference is, Odin Lite can run 3DS games better than a Switch, but it obviously can't run Switch games that well. So do you want a Switch that can run 3DS games on the side, or an Odin Lite that won't run all Switch games? On Nintendo Switch you can play 3DS games with the Citra emulator. If you have custom firmware on Horizon OS, this can be done with the Citra core on RetroArch. If you have Ubuntu installed, you have access to the L4T Megascript, which installs the Citra emulator. Comparing these two setups side by side, you can see that all games run faster with the Citra core on RetroArch. Perhaps this is no surprise, since this core has been developed by none other than M4XW, who's well known for developing N64 and PSP emulation on Nintendo Switch. This core is accessible by becoming a patron for $1 a month, but if you join Better Gaming's Discord, it's available there as well. By running this core on RetroArch with the maximum clock speed, you'll get the best performance. However, the biggest drawback is that this core doesn't support save states, so the only way to save your progress is by using the in-game save system. Another inconvenience is that whenever I wanted to start another game, there would only be a black screen, so I had to exit to the main menu in order to close RetroArch, and I had to do this every time I wanted to start another game. This happens even after holding the R button while launching an NSP title to get the full RAM access. Even with the RetroArch core, there aren't many 3DS games that run without problem. From my testing, the best performances were Ocarina of Time 3D and Majora's Mask 3D. Interestingly, if you look at the performance of Majora's Mask on Odin Lite, you can see it has severe graphical glitches. None of these glitches are on Nintendo Switch, so I guess 1 point goes to the Switch. Perhaps there are other games out there with similar behavior. Running the Citra emulator on Ubuntu, the performance is lagging behind. The only instances where Ubuntu actually gave better performance was on Kid Icarus, where the background would run smoother and the audio had less stuttering. Also on Super Smash Bros, the screen was flashing in purple on the RetroArch core. Running on Ubuntu, there wasn't any of this issue. I must say the biggest advantage the Citra emulator has on Ubuntu is that you can use save states to save your progress anytime in the game. By no means is Nintendo Switch lacking 3DS content. Actually, there are more than 27 3DS games that have been ported to the Switch. So if your favorite 3DS game hasn't already been ported, then perhaps the Citra emulator is a nice solution. In conclusion, the Citra emulator is perhaps the only example where you actually get better performance on Horizon OS than on Android or Ubuntu. That's quite a convenience, since this means you can enjoy 3DS games without any hassle. When I say enjoy, I mean being able to play the few 3DS games that actually run well. Thank you very much for watching this video all the way to the end. Have a wonderful day!